Hello, welcome to the first session of the Intrinsic Leadership Program. In this session, you will work on what is really the most important for you, meaning your values. For that, we will proceed in 3 steps. First of all, we will explain why it is so important that you know what is important for you. Second, we will go through a process so that you can determine or confirm your 3 main values. And finally, we will see how knowing your values can really support you in your day-to-day job, can help you to build your team and enrich your relationship with others. So the first question, why is it so important to know what is important for you? An efficient and extreme way to answer this question is to imagine you at the end of your life. Take a moment to imagine you the last day of your life looking at your past. What is really the most important for you? What are you proud of? Do you have any regrets? There is a very interesting book from Bronnie Ware, who was a nurse accompanying dying people. In her book, she explains that most of people, independently of their social background, of their career, all have same kinds of regrets. And the main regret is the following one. I wish I really had the life I wanted and not the life that others wanted for me. So what about you? Would you have this kind of regret? Do you really have the life you want at the moment? In her book, she says that 95% of people regret their life. So what a chance for you to ask this question right now, while you can still change completely things for the rest of your life. The values represent what is really the most important for you. Perhaps you have already made the experience when you had to make a decision. On one hand, you had your brain telling you, you should do that. But on the other hand, you had a kind of bad feeling in your stomach. Science showed that we have 3 neurological centers. Of course, the brain, which contains plenty of neurons, and we use our brain very much. But we have also neurons in our heart and in our stomach. And according to your values, is really a way to align the 3 neurological centers. Perhaps you have already noticed that great leaders act according to their values. They have this kind of alignment, this kind of internal determination, and they are ready to follow their own way, even without any followers. But because they have this kind of internal certitude, then people wish to follow them. So now let's start the process to determine or confirm your 3 main values. I will use the process attached in the session, and I will ask you questions about your personal space, your time, your thoughts, how you spend your money, what about your energy, what are your discussions. It's very important that you consider that all questions are based on your current life, because in a way, the life you have already represents what is important for you. So let's start. Regarding your personal space, what is your personal space? The area where nobody else has a right to go or to touch. What is your personal space? Perhaps it is your computer, or perhaps it is your desk. Perhaps it is an area at home. Perhaps it is your car. Perhaps it's a bookshelf or an area of a bookshelf. What does this space represent for you? If it's your computer, what does your computer represent for you? Perhaps it represents all what you learned, all your development, all solutions you found, all the files you worked on. If it is your car, what does your car represent for you? Perhaps it represents success, or it represents freedom, because in your car you are quiet, nobody can disturb you. What does your personal space represent for you? Looking now at your time. Once you have done everything you should do, how do you spend your remaining time? What is the time you never miss because it's so important for you? For your remaining time, do you spend it alone or do you prefer staying with others? What is this time you never miss? Perhaps it's a breakfast in the morning because you like sharing with your family, sharing good mood, and try to transmit things to your kids. Perhaps it's when you do sport, and it's so important for you because it represents health and taking care of yourself. So how do you use your remaining time, and why is it so important for you? Looking now at your thoughts. So just for your information, we have thousands of thoughts in a day, and 95% of thoughts are the same as the day before. So there is here a kind of automatic process, which is quite a good way to see what is important for you. So what are your main thoughts? Perhaps you think about your next trip, or your next plans for the weekend, or perhaps you think about your family, or perhaps you are trying to solve problems and you think about finding solutions. What are your main thoughts? What do they tell us about you? Looking now at your money. Once you have paid everything you should pay, accommodation, food and so on, how do you spend the remaining money you have? Are you more in a logic to save money or to spend money? If you save money, what for is it? Perhaps it's to buy a house, but then what does a house represent for you? Perhaps it represents security, or it represents wealth, or it represents family. What does it represent for you? If you are in a logic of spending money, how do you spend your money? Perhaps it's for holidays, or for nice food, or for restaurants, for going to the cinema. How do you spend your money? Or perhaps it's for nice clothes, because your image, external image, is something quite important for you. Or if it's for sport. How do you spend your remaining money? Looking now at your energy. What are the tasks where you have plenty of energy? Where you do not need to make any effort, because even if you feel tired, you always have energy for them. Is it for sport? Is it for certain things you do in the office? Is it to see friends, or to do certain activities with your family? For which tasks do you have plenty of energy? And again, what indication it gives you about what is really important for you. Looking now at your discussions. Imagine I meet you in a training session. How do you introduce yourself? What are you telling me about you? What are the topics you like discussing? Perhaps it's about your job, perhaps it's about a trip you have made, perhaps it's about your family. What are your main discussions? Take the time to answer to all questions in the 6 areas. And then let's try to find similarities. For instance, if your personal space is a special area in the bookshelf with books related to travel, what does travel represent for you? Perhaps it represents freedom. Then, do you have anything else in the other areas related to time, to thoughts, energy, money, or discussions related to freedom? Or perhaps travels are not representing freedom, but adventure, discovery of the world. This way, let's try to find your 3 main values. In general, the values that people have are related to freedom, to openness, development, security, about peace, serenity, sharing. So what are your 3 main values? If you find, for instance, family, because this is a very common one as well, then the next question is, what does family represent for you? Because values transcend life areas. So family can be seen as well as a life area. So what does family represent for you? For many parents, beyond the love they have for their kids, what is important for them is to transmit things to their children, to help them to grow. And perhaps here there is a value, help others to grow. And this value, you can also find it perhaps in the professional area. For instance, a manager can help their team members to grow as well. And here, this is really a way as well to enrich a different life area. So many people are looking for the work-life balance, but in reality, you can fulfill the same values in the different life areas. And development for others typically is something that is applicable in the family area and as well in the job area. Once you have your three main values, let's try to make a definition for each value. For instance, if it is freedom, what does freedom mean for you? Perhaps it's the right to do anything you want, or perhaps it's the right not to be disturbed. You have your own definition, so just take the first definition that comes to your mind. And perhaps in a few days or in a few weeks, you will have a better definition, but just take the first one that is coming to your mind. Because you have your own definition about what your value means for you. So once you have found a definition for each of your values, let's make emotional links. Just remember, last time you really lived this value intensively. For instance, if it is freedom, when did you feel really free last time? Perhaps it was over your holidays, and in that case, perhaps you have a nice picture that can reconnect you very quickly to the emotion of freedom you had at this moment. In that case, take this picture and put it on your values board. You can also find very nice pictures in Google. The important thing is that you find pictures reconnecting very quickly to what is important for you. And at the end, you might build this kind of values board with your value, the definition, and pictures representing what the value means for you. And I recommend you to have this value board available either at home or in the office, it doesn't matter, but in a place where you can see it very, very often, and so that you can reconnect immediately to what is really important for you. It's a symbol, but it's also a tool to reconnect to what is important for you. So finally, how can you use what is important for you, your values, to support you in your daily job? First of all, if you have decisions to make, you can, of course, use your brain, but we know now that you can use your stomach and your heart and evaluate what is the best decision according to your values and according to what you feel. And in this way, it opens different possibilities. And there is always a powerful question: if I would be at the end of my life, what might I regret? This is a very powerful question to reconnect quickly to your values and help you in all decisions you make. The value determination process, you can of course use it individually, this is what we have done, but you can use it as well with a team. I made this exercise with my team when I was a manager, with my team of project managers. And it was great because we saw that many people shared common values. I remember about freedom, about teamwork, which is not completely surprising because people choosing project management jobs, very often they like autonomy and they like energy of the team. But it was really a nice way to better know each other and to really define what the values of our team were. And based on that, we build a team charter. So the value determination process, you can do it as well with a team to build the values of the team. The different questions of the value determination process can be also a basis that you can use for yourself to better know another person, so that you really focus on what is important for the other person. So it's a nice way to enrich the relationship and to open new areas in the relationship. The values are really the basis of the intrasec leadership. So don't hesitate to watch again this video. We have never finished to detail and to better define one's value, and we will come back several times to this topic in the further sessions. I hope you enjoyed this first session and see you next time.